What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of For the Love of Bodybuilding. I'm your host, Logan Shults, and I'm with my co-host, Ian Powell. Ian, how are things going? How is life going? It's been like 2 months since we've recorded, so give the people what they want. You look lean.
Yeah, this it's been a while, man. It's been 2 months. Life's been just kind of going. I think we both just getting really busy and stuff like that. And obviously, I am doing a show. Uh, for a while there, it was just kind of like I was going back and forth. I was like, I'm just gonna get lean, and then Lydia called me out on my bullshit probably 2 or 3 months ago, and people in general are like, you're sure you are, right? And I'm sure you are as well. It's like, yeah, sure you are. I mean, even though still, like, there was an idea that I was competing this year from last year. Anyways, I kind of mapped it out almost in an exact similar fashion where I plan on competing, which was going to be for sure was going to be Heart of Texas, which was September 6th. I definitely could have done that show. I didn't. I just wanted to give myself a little bit more time. So basically, from like the end of Labrada, which for people listening, it was that first week of August. And then from there, I basically dug pretty hard for like 4 or 5 weeks there. And yeah, well, if you would ask me that question of like how are things going, how you feel, probably 2 weeks ago I would have said not good. Things were not feeling good. There was definitely a lot of times where I was just like super um, exhausted. But for people listening to get to those points, if you're not feeling exhausted and prep feels easy, you're not lean enough. You're nowhere near lean enough. Because it does get very hard when you're trying to get off the body fat there. And for a lot of people, this is just really not setting up timeline stuff, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But we are 2 weeks out. We are basically kind of landing the plane in a sense where I'm just kind of washing off fatigue and stuff and still doing cardio here and there. We're at a point where we don't need to do too much cardio. Too much cardio, we both kind of, me and Ben, I mean my coach Ben, we agreed that like if we push a little bit too hard, my body almost to a point where it'll just go really quick. It'll immediately go really fast. If I do too much cardio or do too many low days in a row, I'll become a little bit too streamy, and it takes me a little bit too long to kind of fill back out in a sense. We're at a point where it's like, am I going to get any little bit of that? No, I mean, conditioning is pretty much there for where it needs to be. Leanest I've ever been, for sure. The conditioning is there where it needs to be, and then based off this, just build more muscle in the areas that require more conditioning to even get more conditioned. So people don't really understand you can only get so conditioned, and then once you get to that level of conditioning, you're going to almost compromise the look if you try to push for extra conditioning, lose muscle, go for a streamier look, have issues, and then those areas you just need to build more muscle. So that's where you see people, if you ask people who've competed 10, 15, 20 times, why their protocols and things like that look so much different than somebody that's in the first, second, third, fourth prep. It's because these people have been consistently lean before multiple times. So their body kind of knows where to go, and they can get a little bit more conditioned every time they're able to kind of build more tissue in those areas and stuff like that. So I feel like I've reached a point where glutes and everything are in, where it's to the point where it's like I could go for just crazy rippled striated glutes, which will come when we peak in water and stuff like that changes, and to really get that last bit to like really shine. But to like overly do it at this point, I'm just going to create more of a hole for me to get out of. So the best point right here is just to be able to, what a lot of people should do is be ready early, like me, be ready a bit early. So you can kind of toggle with the look. You can play around with your look a little bit, but also you can just drop off a lot of fatigue, and you can almost eat into the show a bit where, you just run just a few low days just to pull you back down, and then bump you up a few days where it's just kind of your teeter-tottering instead of having to dig and do 2 hours of cardio before the show. And next thing you know, you're on the peak week and you're trying to drop off fatigue, and you're trying to drop off the fatigue, and you're just not feeling out because you've gone too far, too long with having that stringier, kind of super extra completed look, which comes down to, again, a timeline thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think that something that a lot of people don't understand is that when you're prepping for a show, you can get X amount of body fat off and you get to a particular level of leanness. And then at some point you're just not going to look better by getting any leaner. And the next year you may not actually be getting leaner. You just need more, you just have more tissue. And so you look leaner, right? And a lot of that can come down to like the how tight the skin is, wrapped around that muscle versus when you didn't have enough tissue, right? Like that skin's a little bit looser and it doesn't compress against the muscle as hard. So it's not always just a body fat thing. It's also a muscularity thing. And the more muscle you have, the leaner you'll look. And a lot of that comes down to like how tight the skin is around that muscle. Um, and I don't think many people understand that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
it's a hard concept for, I think,
yeah,
most
I
people to
get I
understand.
get told all the time by like people who are like less experienced than me, and they'll be like, "Man, I'm just trying to get shredded like you," and I'm like, I think you've been shredded like me. The difference is that I just have more muscle tissue than you. And so it just looks different, right? Like you can see more lines and things like that because I don't get, you know, like for the most part, I've had probably one off season where I didn't really have much abs, but for the most part, I've still got pretty good abs during the off season.
Yeah, oh yeah, you
And
do for sure.
yeah, and a lot of people don't. So, I am curious. I think, I probably know more of some of the back end stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
But this prep seems to have been easier, and there are a lot of things that you didn't have to do this go around that you've had to do previously. So I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on what was different and why you didn't have to do those things.
I think a lot of it is, like I said from the very get go, is kind of giving yourself enough time to where you're not having to. People are so obsessed with the idea of doing a 16 or 20 week prep. I'm
Hmm.
like, why the fuck does it have to be 16, 20? Like, why are we putting a number on it? If you wanted to ask me how long my prep's been, I'd been like, geez, God, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't the point. The point is, I try to tell people was, you want to have an idea of what your show you're going to do because you can timeline things around that.
Hmm.
But you're going to be chasing a look. This whole time, haven't been chasing a show date, which I think a lot of people get caught up in. I've been chasing a look that I want to be really happy with and really proud with to build off of.
Yep.
So I think in that sense of thing, it allows me to just not worry about stress. Whereas last year when I prepped, I was like on this timeline and there was things going on and there was
Hmm.
a lot higher stress involved all the way around. So the body wasn't probably responding nearly as
Yeah.
well in a lot of those senses. But like if people really want to know, like let's see what date is it? September 21st. So basically I did a little mini cut and I try to be very transparent with this stuff all on Instagram and stuff. So basically I ended my off season at the end of March, started in April. And then in April, we did a mini cut for 4 to 6 weeks to land me in Hawaii because I was like, fucking Jesus Christ, I cannot go to Hawaii like this. And I lost like 22 pounds, right? Like I said, it's
Hmm.
just dropping inflammation, just not being a fucking asshole, cleaning out your diet and doing your cardio. I also do think buying 2 pieces of cardio equipment for my garage was an absolute fucking game changer
Hmm.
because I could just go down there. I could hotspot my phone to my iPad and I could just watch whatever in the comfort of my own home and wake up and just go straight down there. Whereas before, I was going to Leader. I was having to wake up early. I was going to Leader and I was coming back and then I was cleaning up and then I was going to the gym to train people. It was like the cardio was just, in a sense, all over the place. And actually, I don't remember for the most part last year when I competed. Uh, Basically for most of that, I was just doing outside walking, which got me in shape, but it's not going to get me lean enough unless I gave myself a lot more time. But I just didn't have the means to, I was just mostly doing it outside of, but I had post workout cardio.
Yeah.
I haven't had post workout cardio this entire time. And the most I've gone up to in this prep was 60 minutes of cardio in one session
Hmm.
incline treadmill. But it was like during that time, those 2 or 3 weeks where I was at for the most part, it was, 45 minutes. Most of this prep has been 45 minutes of
Yeah.
cardio, fasted in the morning.
I think the largest thing to take away there is that you didn't restrict yourself to one particular date, right?
Yeah.
And by and large, I don't think that athletes have to do that. There are a couple of times when an athlete might have to do that, right? And that is potentially a national show, even though
Mhm.
there are, 5 or 6 throughout the year.
Mhm.
That can still be a little bit more of a hindrance because they're not close together. They're typically several months apart. All right. And you're traveling across the country and everyone is in a different city. So, but for a regional show, like Texas has shows damn near every weekend somewhere in
Yeah.
Texas.
Like 25 shows or something like that a year.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to say, I want to try to prep around this timeline.
Yeah.
But if you get 4 or 5 weeks out and like you need more time, be okay with that. Like reduce the stress level of having to force your body to fit this
Yeah.
timeline and allow yourself to just kind of coast into it a little bit better, if you will, right? And I think that you can do the same as a pro athlete as well. Maybe, well, I mean, there's so many open bodybuilding shows now, so you could probably do it there too. But like,
Yeah.
there are
More
some,
worldwide, right?
yeah, there are some
Travel.
classes that don't have near as many shows. Like if you're a 212 guy, like that's a little bit more of a problem. But like, if you're bikini wellness, classic, men's physique, men's open bodybuilding, like those divisions have shows all the time. There's a ridiculous amount of shows. And so it's very, very easy to push off a show and just do one at a later date, right?
Mhm.
And I think by doing that, you're going to bring in a better look.
Yeah.
And if you're competing at the Olympia, then this probably doesn't really apply to those people, right?
No.
Like
Yeah.
they've got this nailed down, you know?
Yeah. And that's where it comes down to, like I said before, those people that are in the pro circuit that are competing pretty regularly in the pro circuit, they've been lean more than 2 or 3 or 4 times in their life. They're pretty much lean all around. They have muscularity. They've been lean. For them doing these multiple shows and stuff like that, it's like, to get to that level of leanness, yes, it's very hard. But once you have the muscularity, you have that conditioning, you've done there multiple times, it's almost like a teetering, tottering like
Yep.
process rather than just a chase. Whereas at the amateur level, for most part, it's always a chase.
Yep.
Everybody's always chasing a look and chasing that show day and stuff like that. I've had this conversation with multiple clients this year. I'm like, hey, the timeline is important, but like don't rush it, because try to explain this to people, and I will show them. They'll try to make certain shows, and I'm like, look, we'll have to do things to try to reach it, but I guarantee you're still not going to reach it because your body's not going to be extremely responsive in such a inflammatory state.
Mm-hmm.
The body just doesn't nearly as respond as well, which is, again, comes back to kind of how I've been doing it. Is I have been allowing myself to be able to push and pull for the most part, and just glide down as needed, and then dig where I needed to dig. I have for
Mm-hmm.
sure dug, like I said, last 4 or 5 weeks. We definitely dug in there, and there were days where I just wasn't able to move like my body at all, um, and having to like be a little bit more reserved in the gym and stuff like that. But a lot of the stuff that I do, and whenever you're dealing with people all the time, it's mindset's a big thing, and being in a good mood for me is a big important thing. So I never want to be in a spot where I'm having to, I guess, kill myself and be around people all the time. So that's one of those things that's really big with me. But again, it's more or less I've given myself, since Hawaii, I just ate whatever I wanted, didn't really worry about that. And ever since I've been back, I've been pretty much on this diet. I haven't really had anything off plan that wasn't approved
Yep.
from Ben. Outside of just like, I think when we went to sushi that one time, I was just like, I just subbed it for one of the meals, and that was like back
Yeah.
in
And you
June.
literally just made your same macros for the day. You just,
Yeah, I just
yeah.
ate sushi instead. That was the last time I had sushi, so I'm pretty excited to have sushi again, because it's been a while since I had sushi. And yeah, people are like, "What are you craving?" And honestly, I do think Ratatouille Try does have a huge role in here as far as
Mm-hmm.
cravings. Because the only thing I'm really craving, and I tell people this all the time, it's literally just cream of rice, fruit, honey, and like almond butter, maybe some jam.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, that sounds like the best fucking meal.
The thing that I learned about the Retta is like, it's not supposed to do this, but for some reason it seems to do this, and that you just tend to like, it doesn't cut all of your cravings, especially when you're lean,
No.
right? Like it doesn't get rid of that. But what it does do is it seems to just get rid of that craving for like nasty food, right? Like
Yeah.
fried food, stuff like that. Like I remember I was in a rebound and I was on it and I was still, well, okay, I was probably pushing into my off season, but I was still very, very lean the
Mhm.
first like 10, 12 weeks of my off season. But we were on Reddit and I could literally like, there's a place in town that we go to where I get chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes. And this chicken fried steak is tender. It's amazing. But I literally had to scrape off all the breading to eat the rest of the meat because it made me physically ill. And normally I could have smashed that 2 or 3 times over at that point in time, like because
Mhm.
I was so, hungry all the time. So,
Yeah.
um, for some reason, it just seems to have done that for me. Now, everybody's a little bit different in their response, but yeah, I agree. Like, I was craving sushi a lot. Like, and I'm not a big
Mhm.
sushi person. Um, I
Yeah.
like sushi, but I'm a very big texture eater. So I can only deal with so much mush before it physically makes me nauseous. Um,
Yeah.
so it is what it is. I think it's a great thing, but
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna bring up, you know, the whole like timeline thing. Um, I've got a pretty good example, right? Like I've got a client. I just checked. She's been with me for 28 weeks, and we're now 11 weeks out. This entire time, our entire goal was to get her down to a level of body fat where we could kind of determine what class fit her best and where we needed to put our muscle tissue and things like that, right? And so we just coasted. She was able to train really hard. We worked her food up as high as we could get it, as long as her weight was staying the same or dropping. And then we started to kind of like pull things back slowly and just relax and chill and kind of hang out, right? And we hung out at like, that was at, she came to me at 145 pounds. We kind of hung out at like 120 for a while. And then she's like, hey, I think I kind of want to do a show, right? And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. We can plan to do this show, but just understand that if we're not lean enough, I'm not putting you on stage. And she's like, no, I totally get it. That's fine. And so now she's sitting at about 114, 114 and a half, and she's ahead. I mean, like I'm kind of holding her back a little bit. Her calories, they're not high, but they're not like really low. I mean, she's 114 pounds. They're um, training day, so she's training 2 on, 1 off. So they're 1,300, 1,350 calories on a training day and like 1150 on an off day. So that's not that low for that body. She's not on any thyroid medication. She's just on 20 micrograms of clen and um, 9 milligrams of testosterone, which just puts her um, mid range for testosterone levels. So, and we're ahead by probably 3 weeks.
Nice.
So it's like this, we're just chilling, right? And that's a great place to be because she's no longer stressed anymore
Mhm.
and she's hungry. Like, don't get me wrong, but we're in a
Yeah.
very good place. And that's kind of how, if you can manage that, it's going to make for a much easier prep and a much healthier prep
Yeah.
when you're not having to crush T3 and crush, clean as much as you can take, like,
Yeah. That's kind of where we're at. I remember I kind of
Mhm.
told about me like last year I was taking 25 micrograms of T3, was what went up to 60 micrograms of Clen at that point. Already was using Winstrol like 4 weeks out.
Mhm.
All these things, Masteron was already higher. It was like 500. Everything this time around has been much lower and no T3 use at all, and just like I said, 20 micrograms of Clen, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, kind of going back to the point of like the Hereditary tried and the craving side of things and stuff like that, because I'll tell people if when you're actually really lean, it does nothing for hunger. It does nothing
Not
for your
really.
hunger.
You can still smash a lot of food.
Yeah, there is you're hungry all the time. It's not.
Yeah,
And what I found is it's really just not as strong as trizepatide or semaglutide when it comes to that aspect
yeah.
of the GLP side of it.
Maybe if
Obviously,
you took
others
a
don't
much higher dose,
increase.
but
Yeah, if I took my tires, maybe. But then again, we're gonna have problems with probably
yep,
gastric emptying, filling back out again, stuff like that. Then
yep,
that's at that point, it's like, yeah, fuck, it's not even worth it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, what I find, so the last time I had a real kind of off plan meal was for me and Lydia's 1 year. That was almost six
What
weeks ago.
I was about to say that had to have been what around the Labrada, huh?
Yeah, so that was about 6 weeks ago. Yep, August 9th there. So, and that when I was like, hey, I'm gonna, again, I hadn't decided on a show yet at that point.
Yeah,
I was right there, but I was kind of like, because I wanted these things in place. I
little
knew
back
these
and
things were in
forth.
place. I was like, I'm for sure doing an anniversary dinner. I'm not doing a show for
Hmm.
bullshit. I'm doing this. Like, this is what I want to do. So we did that, and we went to Masters, which was nice. But what I noticed, and this kind of goes back to the physically ill side of things, I had some bread in there, which was fine. We had an appetizer, was fine. I had steak and a loaded, like kind of like a loaded baked potato, I guess.
Hmm.
I guess what do they call those? Baked?
Yeah,
I don't
baked
know.
potato.
Yeah, two. It's kind of like almost like a fried baked potato.
Okay.
Anyways, it's their big serving size. We split it and stuff like that. And I swear to you, I had indigestion for probably 2 days because there was, cheese in there,
Yep.
the fat from the
Sour
steak,
cream and
sour cream. We had a dessert. I had like we split like a little cookie thing, and like I was just like, yeah, that was not great. I did
yeah.
not didn't have a good time. I was very excited to be back like on a baseline sort of diet because I was like, that was fucked up. My body just didn't respond very well to it. So again, that's also where I think it's also really useful is in a reverse phase, like you were talking about,
Hmm.
where it's like, oh yeah, I can gorge. But then if you try to gorge on this stuff and you try to have a bunch of cookies and all of these things, you're not
There's
going to want
regret
to.
around the corner. Yep.
You're going to regret it, and it's gonna pull you away, which I think for a lot of people is game changer in that sense of things for
Yeah.
post show phase and obviously long term off season.
Hmm.
And stuff like that. I think it is in the bodybuilding space very much a game changer in that sense. I think it does obviously increase fat oxidation. How much of the fat burning effect have I really noticed compared to other things? Uh, I think it definitely has helped and improve overall composition. But then I kind of started Retta and growth hormone at the same time, and I
Hmm.
think growth hormone has had a huge impact on my
Yeah.
look
Fullness.
this year.
Yeah.
For sure, fullness, just density, just maturity,
Recovery.
recovery, fat burning,
Yeah.
everything as far as that goes. I think those two alone are the big pushers of how my physique has really developed so quickly in the last year with only having an 8 week off season. I only
Yeah.
really had an 8 week off season before I got too fat off Taco Bell and had to pull back. So I don't think I can do Taco Bell this time if I'm keeping Reddit in place. I think that will fucking tell me no.
Yeah.
I'll be like, no.
Yeah. I tell you, man, a great deterrent for eating like an asshole is getting physically ill.
So bad.
Last year there was twice where I literally went to bed and I woke up and I was barfing.
Yeah, that's fucking
And
really
it
bad.
wasn't like I binged super heavily. Like it wasn't like I ate ridiculous amounts of food or anything like that. It was just like my body just was not okay with me um, eating the nastier foods. I mean, that's just kind of what it came down to. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I think moving forward, it's going to be much, much easier to control that because I know it's like, you don't,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it sucks. It's not fun at all. Um,
Yeah, you're in a miserable place and you're by yourself basically. Nobody can help you. You have to go through it. It's kind of
yeah.
like getting really stoned and you're just like, God damn it, now I have to go through it, or getting really sick. Like I said, when I was in Hawaii and I had like one alcohol, literally that night I'd wake up with like heartburn. I'm like, I had one alcohol drink. It's like,
Yeah.
that's obviously something that's never been a big deal for me, but like
Mhm.
it's obviously killed any sort of sense of stuff like that. The only thing I think I really crave is like pizza, but even when I did have pizza, I had pizza once after Bridget's show in Republic of Texas. I had
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 slices, and I was like, "That was cool."
Yeah.
Like like I hit, I like I scratched an itch, and I was like, "Fine." Like I didn't
Yeah.
feel like I needed to have another pizza the next day or the next weekend.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like just like, okay, that tastes good, but like
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Yeah. I noticed here recently I kind of hit this place where, we went to Tennessee for my job,
Mhm.
and we didn't have anything crazy like, for lunch while I was there. They served barbecue and they had some Nashville hot chicken. They felt like the people that were native to Tennessee felt like we needed to try those things, and so I had some. It was very, very good. And then at night for dinner, like my wife and I, we went out and had some curry, some Thai food. Sorry, I did have curry, but we had Thai food,
Mhm.
and really that was kind of the extent of it. Um, Other than, I mean, like I had other food, but it was like morning was breakfast and eggs and English muffins, right? Like that was really the extent of the bad food that I had, and my digestion got so bad that I was just like, I don't even want to eat like this anymore. Like
Mhm.
this sucks.
You're not on Reddit right now, or you are?
No, I'm not on
Okay.
Reddit right now. No,
Yeah. See, that
this
does
is
sound
just
good. English muffin sounds fucking really good. That's the shit I'm craving. Like a fucking English
yeah,
muffin.
yeah. I
Good.
actually found some other bread at HEB's bakery that I'm going to try out this week. It looks really good.
What is it?
Um, it's more like a focaccia style bread, a
Okay.
little bit more. I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest, but that's what it looks like. And they cut it up into little bitty squares.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually less fat. It's only like half a gram of fat and 22 grams of carbs per little square.
Oh,
So
nice. It's kind of packed.
yeah, I'm going to try that instead of the English muffin this week.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's like the little things like that sound good to me. Like I'll see
Yeah.
it through Instagram and I'll see things that look really good, like sweet and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, it looks good, but then I'll scroll kind of past it. I don't hyperfixate on those
Yeah.
things. I'm just kind of like,
I've,
cool.
I've been able to get past that hyperfixation as well.
Or people are like, what are you doing post show? I was like, well, wherever we can go that everybody can come and that like everybody can have a place to sit down and everybody can have something to eat.
Yeah.
I
Where it's
really
still
don't.
open and
Yeah,
fucking,
I really
it's
don't
also going
care.
to be in Galveston. So it's like,
Yeah. There's apparently a lot of good places in Galveston. I just have never really been
I
in a
haven't
long
either.
time. There's a lot of like really good burger spots. I was like, I'll probably just want a burger and fries, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. It's something I haven't had in a while. But again, the good thing about that is that the show final starts at 3:30, so it's
Yeah.
like, I still have Jen competing in that show as well. So I'll probably be on before her, I
You'll,
imagine,
yeah,
and
you'll
then
have to
wait
hang
for
out.
her. Then should be pretty quick. But overall, I think everybody would have plenty of time. It wasn't like when I did Republic of Texas and Bridget got on the show at 10:45 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was rough, and she didn't go on till 7 p.m.
It was like crazy. Yeah, that was like crazy late. That's
That was
because they changed up
ta-
how they did it, didn't they?
yeah. Talk about a crazy peak. That girl was up at 3:30 in the morning that day. That was fun. That was very
I'm
fun
I'm
to
sure
do.
that challenged you.
Yeah. That was, it was actually kind of cool because Luke Miller sat next to me, and then I introduced myself to Luke, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. I recognize from J3U and all those stuff like that." So we were talking kind of back and forth. He's like, "Yeah, basically what you're having to do is probably one of the hardest things you have to do is you have to kind of hold somebody's look throughout the day,
Yeah.
and they have to kind of like a good thing is that she is just back to back for her,
Okay.
whereas it's not a 2 day show where like you have
You're
to
only,
peak
yeah,
them and then do it
peak
again,
again.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit tighter. It's just a
Yeah.
long day for that girl.
Almost nobody looks their best at night. Like,
No,
do you know how
water,
hard it
food.
is? You know how hard it is to achieve a great look at night? Like,
Yeah,
that's not easy.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
so much time to like watch food and fluids and
Yeah.
hold them over, and especially when somebody wakes up at 3:30 for their hair and makeup.
Yeah, dude.
That's a long day. That's a long day
It's
for
also a
somebody.
long day to sit in your hair and makeup.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It was fucking ridiculous.
If they
Uh,
knew the women weren't going on late, they should have not scheduled them that early.
I think
That's
what that
crazy.
was is that person who was doing the makeup for the show or whatever, like probably just booked a room and had to check out by like 11 a.m.
Well, that's fairly it's fairly normal for women to start that early, but generally, prejudging is in the morning time.
Yeah.
It's not, starting at fucking 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
God, yeah, that trip broke me. I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I don't know if I'm traveling anymore for the shit.
It sucks because normally, hopefully they go back to. Did
Yeah,
they just have that? Did they just have that many competitors? Because in the past, we've been the past 2 years,
yeah,
and the show was run very, very smooth.
yeah. It was ran smooth last year. Then whenever you went, did it the year before that, it was
Yeah,
fine. And then this year, it was like fucking. They just try to
it
go
was
full
just a
retard
shit
mode.
show. Yeah.
I think they said they were going to go back to the original map format. They were trying it
Okay.
out, and I was like, yeah, that one didn't work. That one didn't work.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was just fucking crazy. But yeah, so 2 weeks out. I'm excited, man. I am very, very excited to just do it and hold look
Mhm.
because I got to do the prep on my terms. I got to do the
Yep.
prep the way that I wanted to do it,
Yep.
and Ben gave me a lot of room to like go back and forth, and he was very curious of my opinions on certain things and allows me to have some flexible coaching in there as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, motherfucker, it's this way or the highway. It's like
Yeah.
if I have an opinion or if I want to say something or ask about something, I do, and we can
Mhm.
kind of go back and forth, and our communication and stuff like that has really really improved. Um, so yeah, and obviously I'm excited to do it with one of my competitors as well. I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Just kind of creating more of experience in my arsenal and just kind of playing around with more and more things. It's also kind of the benefit that I wanted to be ready early, so I
Yeah.
kind of already knew what I was kind of do with myself to make overall the process for everybody just
Mhm.
a lot smoother and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited. So this week we're almost playing it day by day at this point.
Yeah.
I'll check in tomorrow and see kind of what we're going to do over the next day or two or so. Um, but yeah, you have any more questions for me
That's
about
great.
what I'm doing?
No, I think we're good. I think that wraps up another episode. Just kind of one where we just chat about things, no particular topic, but let's try to do this a little bit more often than every 2 months.
Yeah, I mean we
I know
could.
football season has started, but
That's a problem. Hey, let's see, we're getting this done before noon kickoff. Like I said in the fantasy group chats today, if Texans go 0-3, you will not see me.
so dramatic, so dramatic.
I will be not doing the show either. I'll be gone.
Ian's talking about before 8 a.m. this morning. Fuck me, man.
So yeah, it's like 7:30. I was like, holy shit, there's a chance we might go
I'm gonna
zero
have
and
to
three.
nip that part out because YouTube's
Oh,
not gonna like
sensitive.
those last words. Yeah,
Oh, you're the one that said it. What the hell?
I
You gotta be
did.
sensitive.
I'll bleep it
We
out.
gotta put a disclaimer on there
Yeah,
or something like that. So
I'll bleep it out or something.
fucking bleep that shit out. My bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll catch you later, dude.
Later.